What is going on, everybody? Crazy Dog back with an absolutely loaded banger Browns video for you guys today as head coach Kevin Stefanski as well as owner Jimmy Haslam spoke to the media at the league meetings, and boy did they have some stuff to say. Now, yesterday, general manager Andrew Berry spoke to the media at the league meetings, and the biggest thing he talked about was the fact that it sounds like the Browns are not going to try to trade for the number one overall pick, being as it would be insanely expensive. I mean, just think about how much draft capital it took all these other teams to do it in the past. And we're sitting at number two. And the way the Titans are acting, they're trying to draft that price up. Oh, yeah. But I'm perfectly fine with the Browns staying at two and taking whoever's left of the big four. And honestly, again, I've said it many, many times. I would be fine with any of the big four, whether it's Cam Ward, Shador Sanders, Travis Hunter, or of course, Abdul Carter. Now, if they were to trade down, depending on how far, I wouldn't be too mad. You know, if they stay in the top 10 and they end up taking like a Mason Graham or a Will Campbell, I wouldn't be the happiest person on earth. But I mean, they're both really good players. If they took Will Johnson, I'd be a little perplexed, but I'd understand it. Now, if you want to see me crash the heck out on Cam, if the Browns seriously took Tyler Shuck or Jackson Dart in the first round, 10, I would legit crash out on camera. Actually, for Tyler Shuck. Because that dude is nowhere near a first round talent right now, from what I've heard. I mean, I wouldn't crash out if we took him third or fourth round. But first, especially top 10. No, no, they better not. Swear to God. If that seriously happened, my phone right here would probably go through my TV. Or at least I'd throw my phone against the wall. Or I would just throw myself out the window. You wouldn't actually do that though, right? I mean, I really haven't heard too much about the Browns being interested in Tyler Shuck. Of course, I heard that they did a top 30 visit with him, but that's really about it. Anyways, let's get into what Coach Kevin Stefanski and owner Jimmy Haslam had to say at the league meetings today. Now, before I get into that stuff, as always, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and hit that bell, as tomorrow is April 1st, which means draft month, which means silly season gets turned up a notch. Yep. These top 30 visits start wrapping up. Pro days are wrapping up. Workouts and stuff start wrapping up a little bit. It's going to get crazy. Mm-hmm. Just a reminder, on draft day, I will be doing my one and only Browns mock draft as well as full first round mock. I'm only doing one of each, like I've done the last couple years. I might do like a video series talking about some players that I would want, but I mean, you guys already know about the number two overall pick. Now, what about at 33? I might do that. Do it like a little video series like I did for my free agent targets, but do it for the 33rd overall pick. Because, I mean, we already know who's going to be there at number two. You guys already know who I want at number two. I mean, come on. But yeah, I might do that. So let me know if you guys would be done with that. Now, with that being said, let's get into what Kevin and Jimmy had to say at the league meetings. Now, to start it off, I got some scheduling news. As Tony Grossi tweeted this out, and I quote, NFL getting close to announcing date and opponent for Browns game in London. And it's at this moment when a lot of Browns fans are just learning about the Browns playing in London this upcoming season. More specifically, they will be playing at Tottenham Hotspur, that brand spanking new stadium that opened a few years ago. Yeah, they're not playing at Wembley, they're playing at Tottenham Hotspur. In and around the official release of full NFL schedule in May. So you have the draft, and then a little while later, you have the schedule reveal. And of course, I'll be doing a live stream for that too. Now, I believe the Jets will also be playing at Hotspur as well. So we'll see where they put us and who they have us facing. Now, let's get into the stuff that you guys have actually wanted me to talk about. What Kevin had to say. Because Kevin went first. And Daryl Ryder actually gave us a little insight on the quarterbacks that the Browns could potentially take in the draft. As he tweeted this out, and I quote, based on top 30 visits and private workouts, looks like Browns QB pool in draft is Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, which, of course, Jalen Milroe, and Jackson Dart. Notice, no Tyler Shuck, and no Will Howard. Heck, do you have a national champion quarterback playing a few hours south of you, and you don't even give him a look? Not even an interview or anything? Unless they did it, in the darkness or whatever, off to the side. It would not shock me at all if the Browns took Will Howard later in the draft. Honestly, I would love that. Because, that dude is a gamer. But man, of the 4 quarterbacks mentioned, if I had to rank them based on how much I want them, how bad I want them, Cam Ward and Shedeur are 1A and B. I'd say Jalen Milroe is number 3, and then Jackson Dart's number 4, pretty much. Yeah. I think I like Jalen because he worked with Tommy Rees, who is the Browns' new OC. So there's familiarity there. And he actually did pretty good, too. Now, Jackson Dart, I don't really know too much about him. Didn't really watch him in college, obviously. But seems like he has some good stuff. Now, to wrap up the tweet, Darryl added, and I quote, also sounds like they're just fine with Kenny Pickett and a couple of young quarterbacks from draft and or undrafted free agent. I swear to God, if they go into week 1 with Kenny freaking Pickett as their starting quarterback, after all we've heard this offseason about how the Browns are going to go out and get a good bridge quarterback. First, it was Russell Wilson. We've heard Kirk Cousins. I've heard Carson Wentz. I've heard Joe Flacco. I've heard so many other names. And if we end up with Kenny freaking Small Hands Pickett as our starting quarterback, oh, man, I swear, if our QB room this upcoming season is freaking Kenny Pickett, Jackson Dart, and let's say they take like a Tyler Shuck later in the draft. Oh, hell no. Hell no. Now, ultimately, my, I guess, favorite QB room would be my optimal QB room. The one that I would love would be Kenny Pickett as your number 3-ish. And then maybe like you draft Shedeur at 2. and then maybe like you take like a developmental quarterback later. You sign like Carson Wentz. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. But that's why I'm glad I'm not a GM. But yeah, we'll see what happens there. But that's pretty much the QB pool for the draft. Those four quarterbacks. I'm sure they have more out there, but those are the top four. Yeah. Now, moving on. Speaking of the quarterbacks, Daniel Oyefusi tweeted out essentially what goes on during those workouts. As he tweeted, and I quote, a little insight into the private workouts the Browns have with QB prospects. Kevin Stefanski said OC Tommy Rees and QB's coach Bill Musgrave run the workout, but Stefanski is as close as you can be without getting in the way of the quarterback. So pretty much, Kevin's off to the side, arms crossed, standing there, watching as Bill and Tommy work their magic with the quarterback, putting him through drills and stuff. Of course, what is it? April 4th, I believe, is the Colorado Pro Day. And that's going to be the one that Browns fans are really going to be watching because, of course, Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders will be working out there. And maybe some others as well. Maybe they do a little package deal. Not Trav and Shedeur, but maybe Shedeur and like a LeJontay Wester. Ooh. Or Jimmy Horn. Ooh, okay, get him a little friend to throw the ball to. That would actually not be bad. I'd be down with that. Hell yeah. Maybe they go super savage. They get Travis Hunter at 2, and then they trade up for Shedeur. Pull that off, bro. Andrew Berry's a freaking finesse god if he pulls that off. I don't think Shadeur's fallen that far. I'll be shocked if he does. I'll be shocked if he falls past 15. For sure. That's pretty much what goes down from Kevin. Now, here's something that, add a little comedic part to this video. As Andrew Siciliano tweeted this out, as he talked to Kevin at the meetings. And this is what he tweeted. And I quote, Kevin Stefanski went to St. Joe's Prep. Abdul Carter went to rival LaSalle. Stefanski says he asked, you know where I went to school? Carter, yeah, I heard. Stefanski, is this going to be a problem? Carter, no. It better not be a problem. Like, why would that be a problem? I mean, we have collegiate rivals playing on the same team in the league everywhere. It happens all the time. Look how many collegiate rivals we have on the Browns right now. We have freaking Buckeyes and Wolverines. We even have a freaking Spartan and Wolverines going on the same team. Honestly, once you're in the NFL, what happened in college doesn't matter anymore. It's like I always say, if we draft a Wolverine, it's like, you're not a Wolverine anymore. You're a damn Brown. Okay? You're not wearing that god-awful freaking Mason blue anymore. You're wearing orange and brown. I went from hating your ass to loving you. Like Jabril Peppers. I love that guy. He was a dog. Just didn't really work out because Greg Williams had him essentially standing in Lake Erie almost every play. Remember that? Oh, that was bad right there. I don't know why he kept doing that. Like, he was practically out there covering punts. Damn. Freaking nuts. Now, another little comedic entrant. Kevin Stefanski asked if Tevin Jenkins is a tackle or guard. Football player. This is essentially when someone asks, how much or how many of these things do you want? And you say, yes. Or paper plastic, yes. So, seems like he's a pretty good tackle. He's a butt the last couple of years. Hopefully he can stay healthy. All right. So, for any Eagles fans that watch my stuff, uh, Kevin was asked about the tush push because, the Packers are trying to ban it. Well, this is what Kevin had to say about it. From Andrew Siciliano. And I quote, Stefanski not in favor of banning tush push. It's Philly and him talking there. He's from Philly. He's from the area. Went to school there in the area. So, yeah, of course he's not in favor of banning it. I mean, what, you can't stop it, so you want it banned? Well, I'm going to stop it then. Damn. They just can't stop it, so they're trying to ban it. And they tried it themselves and they failed. Meaning the Packers. Ah, that's tough, man. You can't stop it, so then you try to do it yourself and you fail. That's tough. Now, I do have some news regarding joint practices, as Mary Kay Cabot tweeted this out from Kevin Stefanski, as she tweeted, and I quote, Browns Kevin Stefanski says they'll do a joint practice with the Panthers in week 1 of preseason and 2 days with Eagles and Philly in week 2. So this will be the third joint practice session with the Eagles in the last couple of years. And then, of course, we'll be going to Carolina to do a little joint practice session with the Panthers. So that'll be fun, right? Can't wait for that. I thought it was good. Just talking about what Kevin said. And then Jimmy was talking to the media. And boy, did he have some things to say. Starting it off with this. Oh, wow. Okay. So, from Daniel Oyefusi, again, and I quote, Browns owners D and Jimmy Haslam just met with a group of local reporters. Jimmy said that despite a disappointing 3-14 season, he still has high confidence in head coach Kevin Stefanski and GM Andrew Berry. Added that the team will not force a QB with the number 2 pick. So, for anyone saying that Andrew and Kevin's jobs are on the line, this just poured water on that fire. They ain't going anywhere. Because if you draft a quarterback at 2, I mean, you got to be around, I think, to see it through. You don't want to have to put them through a situation where they start churning through coaches, right? Because then that just ruins their development. But it's good to see that Jimmy and D have confidence in these guys. I mean, after all, freaking Kevin's a 2-time coach of the year. Of course he'd have confidence in him. Just that as long as, this team can actually play good ball, I think we'll be all right. I thought, okay, that's good, right? And this bombshell was dropped from Mary Kay Cabot again. And I quote, Browns owner Jimmy Haslam says the team is still recovering from a big swing and a miss on Deshaun Watson and to hold me and D accountable. You mean to tell me Jimmy actually came out in front of the cameras, or at least the microphones, and took the blame for the botched Deshaun Watson trade? See it. He came out and admitted he up. That takes balls to admit you messed up. They were trying to speed run through things. Of course, the whole Baker shoulder injury probably pissed him off to the point where he's like, yeah, we need a new quarterback. And the options really weren't the best. So he's like, you know what? Let's call up Houston. Let's trade for Sean. Actually, it's bridging. And I get sweet pockets for of course, we're change things because who the heck would turn down $230 million guaranteed? Nobody. Nobody is turning down that amount of money. I'm just glad he came out and admitted that they messed up, right? That's the first step in recovery, admitting that you up. And now you can try to redeem yourself and get back to where you were, right? So, other than that, not really much else to talk about. No, I mean, there was this too that kind of reinforced the fact that Andrew and Kevin are not going anywhere after this year, no matter what happens. As Jimmy essentially came out and said that they have to get it right. They have to, get this pick right. And they'll take a year or two to get that right. So, yeah, I don't think Jimmy would fire Kevin and Andrew after saying this, but you never know with Jimmy. He could change on a whim. You know him. He has one of the itchiest trigger fingers in sports when it comes to ownership. He could change his mind in an instant if things go bad. So pressure's on, and we'll see what happens. But that's pretty much all I got. Video's going over 20 minutes. I'm going to wrap it up there. As always, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and hit that bell. And, well, we'll see what else comes out over these next few weeks as we get closer and closer to the NFL draft. And honestly, I just need the draft to get here already because I'm already getting sick and tired of this crap. And I can already see it now. I see Roger Goodell walking to the podium, and I'm going to be stressing out because it's like, okay, who are we taking? Are we getting a quarterback? Or are we passing on that quarterback and getting another generational type pass rusher in Abdul Carter? Or are we getting possibly the next Deion Sanders type in Travis Hunter, who could play both ways? We'll see what happens. So if anything else comes out, I'll make a video if it's big time. But if it's like something small, I'm not going to waste my time. So with that being said, I'm Crazy Dog. Let's go Browns, and I'll probably see you guys on Wednesday for Cavs and Knicks on ESPN. With that being said, I'm Crazy Dog. Let's go Browns. And I'm out. Bye-bye.